in the pandemic, when we have hotels that sit almost empty because travel has stopped, it becomes even more unconscionable that we have people living and dying on the streets and homelessness growing in our communities. The pandemic has been hard on all of us, but it has been most impossible for those folks living on the streets. We've seen shelter capacity cut in half in many of our cities because you can't put people's lives in danger by having so many folks in a shelter. We have people struggling to find food because there are no longer people walking on the street as open to giving away a dollar or two. Our own city has given out well over 1 million meals to people experiencing homelessness who were at the point of starvation during the pandemic. People have more trouble finding bathrooms or a place to clean off because there aren't places that are so open or letting people in. And so the crisis has become so much worse. Last year, we bought a couple of hotels, but then we couldn't keep buying them because we didn't have the dollars to operate them. We were going to have to stop in our tracks until our community here, frankly, across the country, pushed City Hall to rethink our priorities.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
But just a year and a half ago, I proposed reducing the growth in Austin's police budget by just a little bit in order to address things like homelessness and family violence. And we couldn't even get enough votes to put it to a floor vote to really even try to make that amendment. But then after the marches and the movement for Black Lives really ramped up so much last summer, in the wake of the killing of George Floyd and the killing of so many other people needlessly by police, that created the opportunity for us to not just try to make a small change to the police budget, but to do something transformational. It was because of the advocacy of people marching and pushing cities that places like Austin are finally able to free up the dollars to deal with root cause issues that have been lingering for a generation. If we look at our budgets, we realize that dollars that we are spending on homelessness by addressing it with policing and punishment actually could become available if we're willing to shift our priorities. We are going to regret, once the pandemic is over, not having purchased more hotels. So I'm pushing for us to go all in on this strategy this year while the opportunity is in front of us, because it will otherwise take longer for us to build new buildings. It will take longer and cost more money for us to negotiate with hotels that are full of tourists, as opposed to right now the hotels that are more empty. And all you need is some of the political courage to shift dollars that we were spending on jails and that we were sending on policing folks experiencing homelessness and move those same dollars to actually solve the problem.